Good afternoon, happy cooking. We're here at the Tanti Villa. So good afternoon from the villa place where I'm going to show you how to make a filet mignon. Just a super simple, make it all like in the one pan, and we're gonna use the baked potatoes as well. So today I'm going to use the electric skillet. Why? Because this weekend is Memorial Weekend and we have a super special that you can get this electric skillet and you can get a free gift with the purchase of one. So buy one, get one free. So it's an excellent promo. So this is the time to get it if you ever wanted to get something. So you invest in this, you buy this, which is like a stove and a pan in one place. And you're also gonna get a gourmet skillet for free or a square griddle for free if you like. Anyway, so let's get started with the recipe. So right now what I'm doing is I'm preheating at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And in fact, once it's preheated, you'll be able to hear the oil. You might not be able to hear the oil right now because I'm outside. And so there is wind, there is waterfalls, there's a lot of stuff going on here, bees flying around, who knows what else. So first thing that we're going to do is, since it's preheated, I want to get my potatoes first, okay? So what we'll do for the potatoes is we're gonna take one russet potato and we're going to bake it at the same time as you are going to be making the steaks. Well, not quite at the same time, but pretty close. So to make the baked potatoes, the first thing that you do is make a cross in the center and then do a few like this. 1, 2, 3, 4 incisions, being careful not to cut through, okay? And so the same thing at the other side, okay? So in that way, if you want to fill them with a little bit of sour cream and chives and a little bit of bacon bits, you just squeeze them like this and then the whole baked potato comes out. So the next thing is that we're gonna do is, I have in this pan, I don't need that, I have a little bit of olive oil. So you take oil and then just use, you can use a rosemary sprig like this. And then we're going to brush them with a little bit of the oil. The reason why I do it there with the rosemary is so it will get the rosemary flavor. Okay, I could do this just with a regular brush, but I prefer it to do it with the rosemary. So I decided to make extra recipes this week just because it is Memorial Day weekend and I'm probably gonna be busy. And so I wanna make sure that I take care of you before I take care of my other duties here at home. So now we put it meat or cut side down. And so I'm going to bake right now, okay? So just let it be for a little bit. We're also gonna be roasting some tomatoes along with the steaks, as well as I will roast some garlic, okay? So now, before you make the steak, be sure how you want it. Is it a medium term? Is it a raw or almost a live term, you know? Because some people like it just what they call a blue steak. It's just basically seared on all 4 sides, and then you just serve it on a plate. So the thing is still moving when you get it, okay? Then you got the medium rare, and which is probably one of my favorite, and then you got the medium term, and then you got the well done. So this steaks, to be a great steak, we're gonna make sure that we're gonna give them at least a medium term, so it's not overcooked, so whoever's going to eat it is gonna be just perfect for them, or if they wanna cook it a little bit more. It's easy to remedy an undercooked steak than to remedy a steak that is already fully cooked. So let's add a little bit of sea salt on both sides. And then I'm gonna add some pepper. Cracked pepper. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to brush it with the rosemary. Okay, on all sides. Why? To make it a little bit more moist so it's not dried on the outside. A lot of times people cook it without the oil. Believe me, this is a restaurant way of doing things. When I was taking hospitality management many moons ago, that's exactly what they taught me, except this trick. This is mine. Okay, So just douse it with the rosemary in there. And then what we'll do is we're gonna flip to the other side. Never grab it with a fork. I know that some people just have the, you know, tendency to do this. Don't do that. Use tongs. Flip it to the other side. Okay, and so now we're gonna do the same thing. A wee bit of salt. By the way, did you know that salt, why sometimes when people say, oh, it's bad luck to spill salt, it's not really bad luck. What happened is the word celery comes from the root Latin word of salt, comes from the root word, or celery comes from the root word of salt, because back then the Romans got paid in salt. So if they dropped the salt, then of course they couldn't get it, find it in the sand. Okay, well that's what I heard. So I don't know if it's true, but salt, celery kind of makes sense. Maybe celery, no, celery. Okay, so the same thing, add a little bit of pepper. I love pepper. In fact, sometimes I love to do like a peppercorn sauce where, you know, you just crush the pepper. You take out some of these peppers here, put them in a cloth or a little parchment paper or plastic bag, and then just crack them a little bit. Or you can put them in the blender for a wee bit. Okay, so let's do the same thing. We're going to brush it with the rosemary sprig. It's a beautiful day, really. It's gorgeous. It seems like the summer's already here. I can tell you, I mean, the time right now here is, let me see, it's 3:45, and it's like it's midday here. It's so sunny and beautiful. It's always Southern California, truly the best weather on the planet. That's what they said. Maybe that's what I say. Okay, so that's pretty well done. Not a lot, but here we go. I'm still gonna use this wee bit of oil. So I had like 2 tablespoons. So let's say like maybe 1 tablespoon went in there, and then the other one I'm gonna use for blistering the tomatoes, okay? In the meantime, so this is gonna take like 5 minutes on each side. And when I mean each side, you have to also give the side so it doesn't look like rare on the outside, but it looks just perfectly like grilled, okay? So now we bring them here and then press so it will sear. So always keep it at 450 degrees. So you preheat at 450 degrees and you keep it at 450 degrees. Now, once I put the steak in there, I'm not going to put the cover all the way. Why? Because if I put the cover completely like this, then now all of a sudden I'm creating steam on the inside, and instead of making my steak really tender and beautiful, what am I doing? I'm making a stew made out of filet mignon. So what we want to do is just keep it like that. In the meantime, so you just give it a couple minutes, like give it about maybe, yeah, like I said, we'll do about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. I'm gonna add the rosemary in there, and in the meantime, okay, I'm going to take these tomatoes. We can move this out of the way. I didn't mean to send this thing all the way there. Okay, this wee bit of tomato that has a little bit of salt and it has a little bit of the pepper, we're gonna add it to the tomatoes itself. Okay, it's kind of like we're doing the same thing with the rosemary. And of course, you know me, I love thyme, so I'm going for sure. I'm going for the thyme. So I'm gonna take some of the sprigs of the thyme. In fact, I'm gonna do a few of the rosemary in there. And this is beautiful thyme. In Spanish it's called tomillo. In English it's thyme. You have English thyme and you have French thyme, believe it or not. I don't know, we should have some American thyme. I think we have American thyme too. There's always thyme for everything. All kinds of thyme. Okay, so I got my my garlics here. So I can hear it sizzling. And so if it doesn't lift right away, leave it alone. Do not try to fry it. Do not try to lift it. Seriously, if you follow my advice, 5 minutes on each side, you will have the best steak ever. I guarantee you. My son never used to like medium rare or medium steak, and just you didn't like it, that it looked kind of raw. But the thing is, when you taste a steak that is perfectly done, you'll never go back. It's like the best thing ever. Okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the garlic right now. So that way everything, you notice how like I put it strategically in places, so in that way, you know, they don't crowd itself. So one of the things you have to be, how do you know what, you know, what term is your steak? Usually I like to give about, if this is my steak, I want the bottom, if you want a medium rare, I want the bottom about 1/4 inch that you can actually see that it starts changing the color. Okay, blue steak is super easy to manage, but when it comes to doing the medium well or medium rare, you know, then you have to really, is more like an eyeball it. Some people have tried to tell me, oh, if you do this, I'm confused. Honestly, I was like, what? So no, I'm just gonna follow my own intuition. And I have some vegetables that I'm gonna cook without water as well, which is broccoli today. So even though, like, look at this, this is a nice color, I still don't like it. I want it really, make sure I want it to, that it's like perfectly brown. I want this to be almost char on the outside of, or each of the sides. So if you take like 5 minutes and you cook it up at 450 degrees, I can smell that garlic and rosemary. Then, you know, then you can also go to the other side. You flip it to the other side. It's gonna be 5 minutes, and then we're just gonna leave them. When it comes to the edge of the steak, which is this part, we're just kind of basically just gonna rotate it around and fandangle it so it has like a really even, nice, beautiful color all around. So okay, super even. All right. So I'm also gonna add, some, I wanted to show you, look at the potato, starting to look beautiful. So make sure that the potato is pressed all the way down so it has evenly. So this is looking really amazing. So I don't add the tomatoes yet, because if I add the tomatoes have quite a bit of juice, and I don't want to put my vegetables yet. So my vegetables, I'm gonna cook them in the 2-quart right here. I already have them ready. So I got, these are broccoli, okay? It's like long stem broccoli, so broccolini. So what I'll do is, because broccoli, any cruciferous vegetable, is going to need a little bit of moisture. So put just like maybe 2 tablespoons of moisture at the bottom. So you can see in there, it's like 2 teaspoons. And then what I'm gonna do is, when I'm ready to turn it on, I'm going to turn it to medium. And then when the valve clicks, I'm gonna turn it down to low, leave it for 5 minutes. I'm using an induction stove, so if you're using an induction stove, remember that every time that you remove the pan off of the stove will shut off, because this is an induction ready cookware. So you have to make sure that if you lift the pan, I'm sure those of you who already have an induction stove knows that not every cookware is created equal, and that you know that if you have an induction stove, you can't just put any type of cookware. So SALADMASTER works on every single stove, doesn't matter what it is. Cast iron, open fire, truly, induction, ceramic, halogen, you name it. I have cooked on all kinds of stoves, like, for a long time. But of course, gas is always my very favorite. So I hope that you guys can see the steak really good here, because all I can see is the sun. I cannot even see you guys there. I know that you can see me though. Okay, let's check on this steak. So see, that's more of a desired color. So if you plan to barbecue this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, you know, do it outside, so so you don't have to turn on the air conditioner at home. And look at this potato. Isn't that beautiful? So let's give it to the other side, but always maintaining that, that bit open. So in that way, before you add the tomatoes, we don't want to add any moisture. So see, so you want to make sure that you give it a little bit of a rub with the rosemary. I love rosemary because it is super anti-inflammatory. So this is some of the stuff that, you know how I tell you always that I cook with turmeric? So you see, I don't want my steak to look yellow. I want my steak to look beautiful just like it is, right? So that's this is one of the recipes that I never put turmeric. Okay, like if I do a steak, I don't put turmeric. In fact, I prefer to just use the rosemary because, like I said, it creates kind of the same effect as the turmeric. Of course, turmeric has even more nutritional value. It has better effects in your body. But when it comes to steak, this is not something that we eat every day. Maybe some of you do. I know you do. But it is best to just use either rosemary or thyme or a combination of both, or just garlic, salt, and pepper, or just salt and pepper, truly, to tell you the truth. So it's, like I said, it's not something that you are used to having all the time. So once you heat up both sides, once you calibrate the terminology or the term of your steak, then we can add the potatoes. We can add the tomatoes. So just keep it going. No need to open it all the time. If I were you, just put a timer on your phone, have a timer nearby, and then you add them. So, because if we keep on opening and opening, what's going to happen? Have it at 450. If you open it and open it, then you're decreasing the heat on this. So it's not like when you have it on the top of the stove. On the top of the stove, the heat will retain because I can control the heat. Even if I have the lid, the cover open, I still can control the heat much more than I would on the electric skillet. But what I love about the electric skillet is that it's versatile. I can take it by the pool house. I can take it camping, and then use like a 110 volt in your car, the cigarette lighter to use it, while you're camping. This is the best piece ever, because like I said, you can put a 2-quart inside or a 1-quart, fully with a full 1-quart. You can do a dozen eggs without any water. Inside, you actually take a 1-quart and you can put it inside here. And so the electric skillet works as your element. That's why this is one of the most expensive pieces that we have, is because not only is a lifetime warranty, so not the lifetime of yourself, but the lifetime of the product. And also because it has like a dual purpose, okay? Like I say, casseroles, you can boil water, you can put another pan on the inside and use it as a stove, cook it first, and then come back and cook something else. So it's like super versatile. Okay, so look at this beauty. So now what I'm gonna do is, that's the perfect term right there. Okay, I would not give it any more time. So now I'm just going to leave them on the side like that for a little bit. And then I can add my tomatoes. Now I can blister the tomatoes. Make sure that there's no water in there, only oil. See, there's a little bit of water from me washing the tomatoes. So let's just leave it open for a little bit. And now this is the time, since I'm almost ready to serve the steak. See? You just seal it so people don't see the red meat. And it's only when you cut it you get to see it. Because you see right now, this is what you look at. Right? So I usually tend to cook foods like I like them to be served to me. And so forgive me if I'm not doing your bidding for how you cook it, but you need to, learn from me what you can, and then you go and create your own, because truly using this product, having this product will make your life a lot easier. Like I say, right now my kitchen's hot. If I put the air conditioning, then the whole house will smell like beef or chicken, and my husband does not eat either, or pork. So I rather to just come outside, enjoy the weather, the beautiful weather, and be here in my element of nature. And these tomatoes are looking fantastic. So just continue to cook. And in fact, you can take the You can finish them in the oven a little bit if you like, but there's no need. These steaks are absolutely perfect as they are. I mean, you can tell the beauty. It's just so gorgeous. Look at that. It's both sides. So like I say, if you want it more cooked, and then you know what? If you keep it against, because if you keep it against the pan itself, it's like barbecuing. If you keep it against the pan, it will stop really the cooking, but it's still gonna be cooking the parts that you want it to cook, but it's not going to cook in the middle, which is the important thing. So now that I know that my steaks are almost ready, I'm just gonna flip this to the other side. Keep them away from any moisture that it might be revealed, even though potatoes don't really have like a ton of moisture, but I like to keep them here so you can see them. Look at this beauty. So you got the potatoes, the baked potatoes, and the blistered tomatoes. Look at how they're starting to pop. Like really, really beautiful. And as you can see, the garlic, the roasted garlic, that one I can show it to you with a fork. You see that? Absolutely gorgeous. And this was actually frozen garlic, folks, because I don't really like to keep fresh garlic in my fridge. I keep a little bit, and the rest I throw it in the freezer. Okay, so rub some of this. And this is already coming through. Okay. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that color. See? And I'm just keeping the sides without cooking the middle, because the middle is what's important. Okay? So now what I'll do is I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing, and bring the stove to this side. So if you plan to make a cream sauce or something like that, after you remove everything, because it's good for you to let the steak sit for a little bit, so when you cut, it's like a perfect cut, and it doesn't look like you have to be serrating something or use a chainsaw for it. But it is filet mignon, so you can you can really cut it, you know, with a fork. Okay, so for our broccolini, just turn the stove to on. Then I'm going to use medium. I go on, and then you go heating. But it's hard to see. Something happened in here. Oh. It looks like I just tripped the whole stove here. I did. I tripped the stove. Okay, no problem. So at least we are done with the cooking of the steak. Okay, so let's do ourselves a favor, and we are going to serve this. And then my next dish is going to be fish, but I'm not gonna do it in here because I'm gonna do a baked type of style fish. So bring your plate. And this is a little twig or a little piece of rosemary that I left for serving. I'll show you what to do. So take the pretty steak, whichever you're gonna do a picture with. Put a baked potato there. Then we put some roasted garlic in here. And there you have it. So I'll just cover that. And there you go, folks. baked potato with a steak. This is what you can do for your Memorial weekend. I hope you enjoy this recipe. I love you all. Thank you for watching. This is your flexitarian friend, Jay Tanti. Until then, oh, but wait, Jay Tanti. God bless you. God bless us all. Stay beautiful as ever. Have a safe day. Have a happy, healthy, and wealthy day. Ciao. I'll see you at my next video.